December 6th, 2021. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 246 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
Mike, Macau is in a shambles.
Oh, gosh.
It's a mess. It's going down.
Oh, God.
All right, well, it might not be that bad, but there is some troubling news coming out of Macau. So Alvin Chow, the head of Macau's biggest casino junket operator, Sun City, was arrested over alleged links to illegal cross-border gambling. Now, Macau depends heavily on these junkets from these really big players, whales that come in. Right?
Well, from all over the world.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And we don't know all the details. We were reading a bunch of articles about this last night, and it sounds like what's going on is that maybe there was some illegal online betting by some Chinese on the mainland, and he was, kind of behind that.
Probably instigated by COVID because they had strict restrictions on travel. So if a guy like some whale that lives in China couldn't travel to Macau to gamble, then, now they were offering him online gaming. And that's where the trouble came in, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, Macau is technically part of China, but in China, gambling is illegal, all forms of gambling.
Right.
So, maybe it's the Chinese government kind of finally looking for a way to crack down on this. Who knows? But
Macau's kind of like Hong Kong then?
Again, I don't know all the politics, but I think it's similar to that as far as what they're able to do and the laws.
It's
I'm
confusing.
not an expert. You and I aren't experts on it. But when this happened, the Macau casino stocks took a real hit.
Right. Well, it's a large chunk of their revenue.
Mm-hmm. And so, the doomsayers are, Macau is out and, it's going to crumble. And that's probably not the case. But they might have to kind of rethink things, kind of like Vegas did, where Vegas is moving away from gambling a little bit and looking more at entertainment and food. Gambling won't go away. I mean, what do we know? But anyway, it was big enough news. Macau everybody thinks, Las Vegas is the gambling capital of the world. But as far as revenue goes, Macau has been the leader for many years. Going far beyond what Las Vegas brings in. So,
well, they're bringing in the whales from Asia and Europe, who fly there and gamble.
Yeah.
Probably most of the world except for the United States. And even here, some whales probably go there.
Oh, sure. Well,
if they're given enough.
The people that we know that have gone to Macau love it there, at least as far as the service goes.
Right.
They may not enjoy all the gambling, but as they say, the service is second to none. We'd urge you to go and research this on your own because, again, we don't know all the details.
Well, you may not know all the details. It's China.
Yeah, right.
So
that's right.
You may not ever get any of the details.
Yeah.
However, it's kind of funny. Last night I was explaining to my wife about this, and she said, so it was they get these whales to come on junkets to gamble? And I said, yeah. And she said, why does a whale need a junket? I mean, why do they need someone to provide them a room and food and, entertainment and stuff when they're billionaires? I mean,
Yeah, I you know what it is, though? I think it's basically the junket people, they're kind of working for the casino and the whales, right? And, it's like, on behalf of this casino, we're going to bring this whale to you.
Right.
And, I'm going to promise you that he'll play this much and he'll get this much loss rebate and here's what he wants. So
And, no matter how wealthy you are, I was telling my wife, you always want to get the most you can.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Right. So, I mean, you could gamble with thousands and thousands of dollars, and then you stop on the way home and get the 2 tacos at Jack in the Box.
Right. You get as much as you can.
Right. I mean, it's just the way life is.
And I can't really see a billionaire getting on the phone, I'd like to get a room for this weekend.
Right.
Can I talk to somebody about getting a room?
They would have their assistant do that.
Yes.
It's not like they would be on the phone.
Well, in other devastating gambling news...
Oh, boy. Who's starting off on a sour note here today, Mark?
A few episodes back, we had talked about how Florida had sports gambling, finally. And that it was really a monopoly. The Seminole tribe in Florida had a monopoly on sports betting in that state. The only way people in Florida could bet on sports was to use their Hard Rock Sportsbook mobile app. Right?
Yes.
And that was it. And in fact, we were wondering, would the lines be very good on that? A monopoly. We did get at least one listener contact us and said, yeah, the lines were comparable. There was nothing outrageous about that.
Well, they don't have to go too far. I mean, they're going to win anyway on the vid.
Yeah.
So.
Well, last month, a judge ruled that the deal giving the tribe control over sports betting throughout the state violated federal law. So the tribe appealed, and they kept their app up and operable during the appeals process.
That's what appeals are for.
That's right. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to appeal.
I'm going to appeal forever.
But then Friday, the appeals court refused to put a hold on the judge's ruling. So as of now, the tribe has stopped taking bets on their app.
That's pretty bad for people who were betting. It's like all of a sudden, oh, great.
I know. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because they...
Yeah, what if they have a futures wager?
I don't know about the futures wager. And I've got a question about that too. Here's what the app actually said when bettors brought it up. It said, all active bets for events starting before 11 a.m. Eastern Time on December 4th will run and settle based on event outcome per normal. All bets for events starting after 11 a.m. on the 4th will be voided and initial bet amounts returned to your app wallet.
Oh, okay. So maybe if you had a futures bet, it just gets returned?
I'm guessing that would be the case.
Yeah.
But that's kind of crummy too. You made a futures bet a long time ago, and then, suddenly it's like, hey, I got them at 100 to 1, and really the value right now is about 10 to 1.
Oh, well, some fan of like Cincinnati college football, University of Cincinnati. What if they had made a bet earlier on them winning, the national championship? And now it's negated and they're in the Final Four, maybe miracle happens and they win. You'd be like, what? Because you would have got some pretty good odds.
Yeah, we're speculating too. We don't know what happens with the future bets. This is just what the app said. And again, we don't live in Florida, so we can't check it. But the app does say your funds are safe and secure. The app will remain active for easy withdrawals. So if I were to read that, I would try to get my money out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, because if it starts up again, you can always just put the money back.
Right.
But I would get it out now, yeah.
Anyway, good luck to Floridians out there. Hopefully you'll get some sports bet. It didn't last very long.
No. God. Oh, yeah. What do you think about the Caesars sports app commercials that are on TV?
I love them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, see,
I think they're funny.
I know a lot of people don't, but I think JB Smoove is hilarious anyway.
Right.
So,
I do too.
No.
I've always kind of thought he was funny. Just looking at him makes me laugh.
Yeah, me too. So I know that there are a lot of people who don't like him, but
the one where
count me one of the admirers.
Well, the one where the guy's
campaign.
hitting on the girl.
Yeah,
it's
right. It's Patton Oswalt, right?
Oswalt, yeah. And she just totally blows him off and walks away. And at the end, you don't see him, but you hear his voice saying to someone else, "Hey, I'm," just move on to the next one.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I love the look of the whole thing. They obviously spent some time on it.
Too bad we don't have it here in California. It runs all the time.
I know. We see the national ads. It's like, okay,
every time it runs, I turn to my wife and say, well, it's no good here in California.
Someday.
No.
No, you're right.
What's going to happen first? Am I going to win the football poll? Am I going to hit a royal flush, or is California get sports betting?
We're going to get sports betting, but it's not going to be mobile.
Yeah.
It's going to be in person initially.
Right.
So, yeah.
So the Caesar Sports app will do nothing.
It won't work. No.
For me.
Yeah. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, let's move on to our voicemails. First up is Kurt.
Hey there, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Kurt from Cincinnati. I had a question or a topic you might be able to shed some light on. A few weeks ago, you were commenting on the topic of casinos that offer the all tall, small, fire bet, things like that, and casinos that don't. If I'm recalling correctly, you said something about licensing those games might be a factor that comes into play on that. Kind of reminds me of the scene in Ocean's 13 where Bernie Mac's character was pitching the fictitious game Nuff Said. So I wanted to see if you could give us listeners any broad overview of games where the casino has to license them in order to offer them. Like, they probably pay some kind of royalty for popular slots like Game of Thrones, Jeopardy, or the Waltons. Okay, maybe that's a bad example. Or on the flip side, are there any standard games a casino can just offer royalty-free, like blackjack or typical craps? Or is everything licensed from somewhere? Anyway, thanks for any information you can give us and for hosting this great podcast. Enough said.
Enough said. Yeah, do you remember that in the movie? So Bernie Mac is explaining this game to Al Pacino, kind of selling him on the, this is good for the casino.
Right.
And it's complicated and there are dominoes involved and anything. Yeah. I miss Bernie Mac. He was funny. So as far as licenses and royalty go, well, first of all, when it comes to slot machines, that's a lot different from table games because the slots are licensing things that aren't necessarily gambling related. So if you've got like a Game of Thrones slot machine, the slot manufacturer is paying
Game of Thrones
for that license, and then the cost is being handed down to the casino as well. But it's an entity that they're paying. Now,
the casino isn't particularly paying the licensing on that. They're just buying the machine. The people who manufacture the machine are paying the licensing to use the name Game of Thrones.
Right, exactly.
Or, Brady Bunch or whatever. There.
And there's really nothing comparable on table games. You don't have like a side bet in blackjack that's, the Big Bang Theory side bet, right?
Right.
They don't have that. So it is different. But to get back to Kurt's question, the games that casinos don't have to pay royalty on are the traditional gambling games. So it would be craps, roulette, blackjack, baccarat, things like that. Keno, things like that.
There's nobody who invented it that's around to say, I own blackjack.
But in the case of most side bets, Fire Bet or the Dealer Buster side bet or any carnival games, 3-card poker or Ultimate Texas Hold'em, things like that.
Caribbean Stud.
Right. Those are games that companies have come up with, and the casinos do have to pay a license to offer those games, or those bets, I should say, or games on table games. Yeah.
And I'm sure that licensing fee is consummate with whatever popularity that game has. So, the more popular the game, the more you're going to pay for it.
I would guess so. I don't know any figures, but for example, 3-card poker, probably the most popular carnival game, wouldn't you say?
I would say
so. You'd
now,
think that would be kind of a higher fee than some of the other ones, but
because you'd want it in your casino because people love to play it, and the house has a fairly high edge. But I think you should come up with a Big Bang side bet. That's a good name.
Okay.
Big Bang side bet.
Big Bang side bet. So Big Bang Theory side bet
Big Bang Theory side bet.
Okay. I'll go back and watch some episodes. Maybe I'll get some ideas. All right. Next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Brian from Pensacola. I'm just calling to give you a report on a cruise I was on last week on the Norwegian Escape. The casino play. I spent all week attacking the slots with, reckless abandon and going down in flames. But I had fun. But a couple interesting things happened on the cruise, gambling-wise. Number one, I was playing some video poker at the bar, and I was dealt Queen, Jack, Ace of clubs. And then I also got a Queen of spades and the 8 of hearts. So naturally, I have 2 queens. I saved the 2 queens, hit deal. Next 2 cards, 10 of clubs, King of clubs. I hate when you're doing the right thing and you know what you're doing, but you see something like a royal flush disappear into the ether. That was nasty. In fact, I walked away. I stopped playing for a long while because I couldn't handle it. But on better news, later in the cruise, I think it was second to the last night, I was playing Wonder 4 Tall Fortunes. Now, that's one of the slot machines where you play 4 games at once because one just isn't enough. Yeah. So I was playing 4 games of Buffalo Gold Collection on that slot and hit a bonus. And the individual game was a $1.20 bet. So I was betting $4.80. But the game I got a bonus on was just a standard bonus for one game. So on that $1.20 bet, I ended up with 154 spins and collected all 15 Buffalo heads. I guess that kind of detail might be lost on the craps players like yourselves, but in the end, $7,888.08.
Wow.
Nice.
On a $1.20 bet. So needless to say, that perked me right back up. I loved it. What an experience. So anyway, Thanks for the show, guys. Have a good one.
Nice hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Were you telling me your dad had something like this recently, where he hit a bunch of?
Oh, yeah.
Now, let's just say your dad. He doesn't go out with us as often as he used to, but every once in a while, your brother will take him to one of the closer casinos.
One of the
here,
casinos.
He's still getting out there. That's great.
He's getting out there. Yeah, 95, and he has. He was at Verona. Just a week or so ago, and he had $1.20 in. He was playing $1.20. Hit something where he got 595 free games. 595. So it just kept, spinning games after games after games. He ended up winning $1,700.
Oh wow, great! Yeah, that's kind of fun. Where you don't have to do anything; you just watch it go.
You just watch it go, and you collect your $1,700. So he went home a winner, and he got home, called me up, and said, "I'm only $80 down for the year."
Good. This is his best year ever, then, huh?
Best year ever. I was thinking about what he was saying about the royal flush, but see, he kept a queen. He would have had to throw a queen away to get the royal flush. So who knows what would have came up in that slot?
You could second guess yourself. Don't ever feel bad about something like that.
Yeah,
with these, they've got the constant shuffling going on in the background too with these poker machines now. So he could have pressed the button, a half a second earlier or later, or whatever. It would have been different. So now don't beat yourself. Plus, hey, if you want to talk about doing the right thing and getting punished for it, that happens all the time in regular poker.
It happens all the time in life. Okay.
I was trying to tie it into gambling, but yes, you're right.
Every
Dr.
day
Mike.
in life, people do the right thing and get punished for it.
So you kind of have to build up a tolerance for that.
Yeah.
But you did the right thing, so be happy with that.
Yeah, you still won.
Yeah,
right. Never complained about a win.
That's
you still
right.
got a pair.
Got your money back. All right. Next up is Little Joe.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Little Joe. I have dealt dice at 4 different casinos, supervised dice at 1, and I wanted to weigh in on the terminology question from 2 episodes ago. So you're absolutely right that when somebody was talking about flipping it and going to $100, you nailed it, that it's a $35 to $100 press. But this term can also be used in one other way, which is if the player is dropping big and they tell you to flip a bet. So let's say you have a $25 buy bet on the 10 and a player tells you to flip it, then my assumption at that point is that they want to go to $50. So I'm going to pull out the payout like normal. They're going to drop me the big, and I'm going to put the payout on top of the button, flip it, and then I'm going to hand them their original bet back. So we'll get $25 change for the big of $1 or $2, depending on if it's before or after. So, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
So in that case, it's a press.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just a
Yeah,
press,
I love the fact that we're still learning things about this game.
Yeah.
Right. We think, we know everything, right? And honestly, we had never heard flip it before, and obviously some players have.
Just like life, Mark. Every day you learn something new. Figure it out.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
I was trying to, tie that into gambling, but you're absolutely right, Dr. Mike. Yeah.
So on Bonanza.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite of the Cartwright boys?
Well, I never watched Bonanza. I'll say Haas.
Haas, yeah. See, guys will always say Haas.
Yeah.
Girls will always say Little Joe.
Well, Michael Landon, kind of a
Michael
heartthrob,
Landon, right? Yeah.
But Haas was just a big old kind of dumb guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he was great. Haas was great, and he was kind-hearted. He was the kindest of.
There you go.
He was the
right,
kindest of all of them.
Yes.
We were watching Bonanza, my wife and I, the other day. Just happened to be on. We were watching an episode of Bonanza. It was a really good one, and Haas is on his horse next to Little Joe, who rode this little Palomino that was so small. And it was so funny because one guy looks like a giant and the other guy it's like a running back standing next to a lineman, It's like,
if we can really go off topic here, there's an episode of Happy Days, where they're watching Bonanza. You don't actually see the screen, but they're in the living room watching Bonanza, right?
Yeah.
And so Mrs. Cunningham says, "Oh, I hate it. Haas always meets, a girl. It looks like they're going to fall in love and get married, and then something always happens."
Yep.
And so Haas, in this episode, you hear they're talking to little Mahi Mahi is the woman that he's going to marry or whatever. And all you hear Mrs. Cunningham, "Look out, little Mahi Mahi," and from the TV,
It happened on a lot of episodes where Haas lost his love.
Oh my gosh.
I grew up watching, Gunsmoke and just all those shows.
Yeah, the Western was huge
Westerns
in
were
the
great.
60s. Yeah.
Only thing about Gunsmoke, if you miss the first 5 minutes of it, don't even watch it.
Really, you have to.
You
watch
have
the
to see
beginning
the
of it.
first 5 minutes of every Gunsmoke.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're lost the whole time.
All right, back to gambling. Next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Kirk here, formerly from Orange County. I happen to be doing some work down in New Orleans, so I decided to take a solo trip on a Tuesday night to Harrah's, New Orleans. When I first walked in, I wanted to hit up the tables for craps. Unfortunately, table minimums on a Tuesday night were 25 and 50, which was surprising to me. They did have a bubble craps and a shoot to win machine. The shoot to win was the glass tabletop style where you throw them, and they're still a dealer and everything, but they had a $10 minimum on that. So I cashed in for $300, quickly turned that down to 80, and then started my way building back up. We had 3 hot shooters over the course of the night while I was there. I was one of them. Really fortunate. I was able to roll 36 rolls, which got me back in the positive side. And then we had another roll after me that hit 44, and then later at 21. The only reason I know these numbers is because the shoot to win machine has that counter on the side. All in all, I was able to take $300 and turn it into $1,600 total. But then, I got a little cocky and started making some bigger bets, trying to really push it up. And those shooters at the end of the night cost me, and I ended up cashing out with just around $1,100. But big moment for me because it was my first time pressing up a 6 and 8 to a black chip. So, of course, as soon as I got that black chip on the board, the shooter immediately 7'd out. But first time I was able to get black chips up on the board for me. So that was a big deal. Really excited about it. So, again, thank you for the show. I'll give you another trip report from what casino I hit up next. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, black chip. I remember the first time I got, a bet up to black chips. I think we might have been actually in Laughlin, Mike. I remember some table there, and it was just a hot roll, and I kept pressing. It's like, oh my gosh, I've got over $100 on
I'll
this
tell you
bet.
what, it never ends. It never ends, seriously, because every time you reach a new, I got this to the table max and it hit or something, it's always exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It's always
That's
exciting.
why we do it.
Yeah. You have a guy that keeps track of all your rolls when you're on a table and texts them to you.
Yeah, that's true. I do have a guy. I think I'm looking at him right now. Yeah. It's a nice feature.
It's a nice feature.
Keeps me busy the next day. Entering all the data into. Yeah. Kirk actually emailed us. He was asking if he had called the table correctly, shoot to win. It's actually a roll to win table. It's very easy to get him confused.
Well,
but he's talking about a roll to win. Yeah. Right. So, yeah. All right. Next up is Mike.
Hey, guys. This is Mike in Florida, and I was just listening to the episode where the gentleman mentioned visiting live in Philadelphia. And yes, it did open just this past year. And I want to echo his comments, particularly his description of the hub and spoke concept. It is by far the most unique layout of a casino that I've ever been in. And I think you guys have been in enough too to know that there really are no two casinos that are identical. They're all different in some way, like a fingerprint maybe. This one is definitely the most unique. And honestly, I don't know why they did it that way. It's very confusing and very hard to find certain things, including even a bathroom. Nonetheless, it is very convenient if you're headed to a Philadelphia Phillies or Eagles or Flyers or 76ers game. You can see the seats behind home plate at the Philadelphia Phillies stadium from the parking lot where you park to walk in to the casino. That's how close it is. Probably no more than 200 yards from the gate. Now, having said that, there's signs posted everywhere about how difficult it is going to be to park there on any sort of game day for the Eagles or the Phillies. I don't know if it's as much an issue for the Flyers and 76ers because it's a much smaller crowd that can get into the games, but for the football and baseball games, it's a hassle. I do wonder about the planning that went into that and the forethought that went into that, because as far as I can tell, there's probably not another casino in the country that is in that situation where they are so greatly impacted in terms of parking ability just by having a home game for a local sports team. So anyway, that's my take on it all. I agree with what the caller said about it and just wanted to add a little extra commentary for you guys as well. Keep up the great work and hope to see you soon. Bye.
Yeah, boy, if you could
Yeah.
get around the inconvenience
Right.
of that, oh my gosh, the energy on a game day must be fantastic, right?
right.
You know, it's play, you know, maybe you go to the game, then you go to the casino afterwards after a big win.
It's real simple, Mike. You just get to the casino really early before the game starts. You're already there. You're already parked.
yeah.
If you don't have tickets to the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or even if you do, maybe you can walk. I didn't know it was that close to all those stadiums there. So we could fly to Philadelphia, go to that casino, and then get back on the road and head to Atlantic City.
Yeah, okay. Let's do that. You make the plans.
That's an
let us
easy.
know when
that's an easy jog.
We're good to go. So yeah, another complaint about the inside design, sort of that wheel and spokes. Maybe they'll. I mean, if it's that confusing, maybe they'll eventually change it. But,
they better have signs up if you can't find a bathroom. That could create a problem.
Yeah.
You had a lot of people drinking.
Yeah, we don't put clocks up because we don't want people to know what time it is. We don't tell you where the bathroom is because we don't want you taking bathroom breaks. All right?
Hold it.
Flip it.
Yeah, flip it.
Hey, speaking of which, let's hear from Carl.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, this is Carl from Maryland, calling from the bathroom. Seriously, I'm at the Bellagio, first time in Vegas with my wife, April, and we've been tweeting it, and I tweeted out earlier about why are there still phones in the bathrooms? Who finds the need to do the necessary and make a local call? It just seems like with all these luxury hotels and all the renovations they do that they would take landlines out, since, most people don't even have landlines in their homes, more or less have them in the bathroom. Well, I was challenged to call from the bathroom. I would say mission complete. We're going to Fremont today. We're hoping to have a good time at Circa, stadium swim, and then explore up and down. And we'll go from there. Have a great one, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
I love that.
He posted it on Twitter, basically saying, hey, why do they still have these landlines?
Yeah.
And then Tim made some smart comment like, oh, that's where you call. You can bet on that from. So, of course, Carl had to do it.
Well, actually, I do like that. I mean, I wish we got more bathroom calls. You know what's funny about that is he said, who feels the need to make a local call?
Yeah, right.
But he specifically said local call, not long distance. So I guess, long distance calling from the toilet's appropriate.
Oh, gosh, I hope he didn't call. I actually hope he used his cell phone instead of that phone because he probably got charged a fortune if he called our hotline from the actual phone. Yeesh.
Yeah, when you're in the toilet, Mark, you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. And that's why they still have the phones there, Dr. Mike.
That's exactly.
That's right. Got to call down to the desk.
You might be there for a while.
Yeah, I need housekeeping.
I'd like the phones there. I'd just like to be in charge. Call the craps pit and say, oh, yeah, go ahead and parlay that one. Take me down. What was that last roll?
We got you covered, Dr. Mike. See you in a half hour. All right, last call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is William calling in from Fort Worth. Keep doing what you do, please, because I love it. I know all of us do. I really look forward to it when your podcast comes out. And thanks to everybody that calls in with their stories, especially in Vegas. It just takes us all back there. Those of us that have been many, many, many times. I love just hearing how people go from, one hotel casino to another, because we've all just done those same steps so many times. It never gets old. So we always stay at Nobu, and we like playing at the Cromwell quite a bit. And just that whole corner there, and I love we can walk past the fountains, the Bellagio, and then you're at Cosmo for all their great nightlife and energy. And then if you walk across Street Crafts, they're playing at Hollywood. Then they will walk back through Paris, through Bally's, and then kind of get back. And I just love that whole area. So I really enjoy everybody's stories. A couple things. I need a ruling on a Royal that I hit. I'm going to guess it's a big fat no from the Royal Flush judges that you guys are. So I hit a Royal on an Ultimate X Poker at Cromwell in September. I think it had a pretty good multiplier on it, so it paid me $3,000. But I'm going to guess that doesn't count because I had an ace and queen of spades that I held, and then one of the hands, I think it was 5 hands, I hit a Royal. So I'm going to guess that doesn't count since it wasn't traditional. But one other thing, I keep reading, and I'm really shocked that masks haven't been lifted in Vegas yet on the indoors. It just seems that masks have not been a thing here for, 7 or 8 months. I haven't even thought about a mask unless you're going into the doctor and with their kids or something, or any doctor. Then you do have to wear one. It's the only time I've worn one. It's not that big a deal. However, we do like to drink while we gamble. That's kind of a big part of it for us. It's way more fun to lose your money when you're drinking. So therefore, it's a little bit of a beating. But how are things in San Diego and California? Are there still a lot of masks mandated indoors? There are no restaurants here that have done it forever. So I just keep looking, I keep reading, and it sounds like Clark County, I think, or they're close to lifting it, but they haven't quite hit the numbers. So I'm just kind of curious, how are the mask situation? How's that going in California and at your casino? I think y'all said it's not mandated. So are you guys not surprised like I am that Vegas is being so hardcore about it? But anyway, that's it. Thanks again for what you guys do. Take care.
Yeah, masks.
Thanks.
I mean, it's going to depend on the culture, where you live.
Right.
It's going to depend on politics. It's going to depend on outbreaks.
Here in
it's
San
gonna be
Diego,
different.
they are not mandated.
They're not mandated.
They're suggested that you do wear them indoors, and you see people like I went to the supermarket the other day. I put my mask on.
Yeah, I still
But,
do. I think. What do you
know-
think? In like a supermarket, I'd say it's like 50%.
Yeah, it's like 50%.
and it's the same at the casino, right?
Yeah. Well, the
50%?
casino's rule, as far as I know, hasn't changed. That if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask. But if you aren't vaccinated, you're supposed to wear one. Now, they don't check anybody.
No, they
so
don't, right.
most of the people walking around, I'd say it's about 50-50 there too.
It is interesting. The only place where I have to wear a mask, where it's mandated, is my job.
right.
At my
mine too.
office.
Yeah.
Right, well, yours obviously, but now I've been working remotely most of the time, but every once in a while I have to go into the office, and yeah, that is the current policy is we have
Right.
to wear masks there.
Yeah,
Here's the thing about Vegas. Okay, so Nevada, again, they've got their own politics and their own, issues and outbreaks and things. But think about why you go to Vegas. You go to Vegas to bring all the diseases that you have
Yeah.
to a central
everyone
location
else.
to hand them off to everybody else so that they can go home and spread the disease, and so that you can get the diseases from other locations and take them back home with you.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
that's a big part of the trip.
Yeah.
So just regardless of what may be going on in all of Las Vegas, when it comes to the touristy areas, maybe think of it that way as like, okay, well,
Yeah. Well, no, that is the reason really why the casinos require the masks is because they have people coming from all over the world, not just the U.S., but all over the world to those casinos to gamble. And so they're trying to protect their employees and staff and everybody, which makes sense, right?
Yeah. Well-
But remember years ago, we were riding the moving walkway
yeah.
in Vegas, and a kid in front of us on a dare licked the rail
Yeah,
the whole way.
I think it was actually just one of the escalators.
Was it an
that was
escalator?
crossing there?
I
yeah.
just remember him.
Oh yeah, I remember
licking the rail.
Yeah,
and we both looked at each other, and that's pretty gross. I mean, talk about sharing diseases.
it'd be gross anywhere, but especially
in Vegas.
that's true.
But he had enough alcohol in him that I think he was okay.
He was probably-
I think his mouth was generally okay. Alcohol will kill everything.
It looks like
Another reason to drink while you gamble.
Yes, it looks like we're about to turn the corner, and then
it all
something.
falls
And here's the
apart.
thing. Okay, we got this call from William before the Omicron variant started making headlines.
Right.
So I mean, just within that amount of time. So
Right.
based on all that, I think masks are going to be around in Vegas for a little bit longer, at least.
Yeah, at least until the Greek alphabet runs out.
That's right.
Characters.
Yeah.
Does his Royal Flush count?
Oh yes, I would say it counts just because it paid a significant. What do you say, like $3,000?
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, I'd give it to him too. I mean, it's a little chinsy if you're playing 5 games.
I don't know. I guess maybe we should open up some sort of court. The Royal
The
Flush
purist
court
would say it has to be, like a Jacks or better game or something.
Yeah. All right, we'll give it to you though, William. Okay, speaking of Vegas, I'm going to be in Vegas during Zorkfest.
Yes.
And I'm going to be staying downtown at the Plaza. You're not going to be able to make it, right?
I am
Mike?
not going to be able to make it.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
Because of a Christmas thing.
Yeah. Now, I was talking to Sherry. Have you been to Las Vegas this year?
Yeah.
This year? 2021? I don't think you have, Mike.
No, you're right. I
Yeah.
have not. Yeah, it was Christmas of 2020.
It was last year. Yeah, I think this is
the first year. I
first
haven't-
calendar year in like 30 years, right?
Yeah, at least 30 years.
Yeah,
I've
wow.
been to Vegas. Yeah.
Well, I wish you could come along.
I know they
but-
miss me. My host calls about every week.
Yeah.
She called this the other day and said, hey, are you coming for the gift wrap and stuff? And now I just,
All right. Well, I'm going to be joining Tim Lawson. He's doing a live performance of The Better Life along with Gil Alexander and Eric Rosenthal. So
and you'll be joining them talking?
Joining them, yeah, in that version. So hopefully we'll see people there. Now, I'm going to be there kind of when we really are scheduled to record our next episode. So I don't know if maybe we'll be a little late or we could record early. So
we might be a little late.
If you don't see our next episode drop on that Monday, that might be why. But we'll get it out in some way. So
Well, you'll probably have to leave Vegas Sunday real early in the morning so you can get here by 1 or 2. And
that's true. We could record. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be in great shape for it.
And when you're in Vegas, make sure that you say enough stupid stuff that it feels like I'm there.
I always do, Dr. Mike.
Okay.
I don't need to consciously think about it.
Yeah, just equate the number of fireball shots with the number of stupid stuff. Okay. That fraction should end up being 1.
All right, I'll make a graph. Okay. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring PayPal donations. James, the Color Up Craps YouTube channel, and Kurt. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a donation from listener John. Karma donation for upcoming yearly casino trip with an old friend. Well, good luck. Hope you have a good one.
Yep.
Also a donation from Bill. Welcome back, Dr. Mike. As soon as he was back on the air, I hit not 1, but 2 royals in video poker. This is also a karma donation for an upcoming Vegas trip during Zorkfest with my best friend, her first time in Vegas. Hoping to see you there. Well, I hope to see you there too, Bill. And congrats on the Royal Flushes.
Sorry I couldn't see him. I mean, we spent that one time, we spent like a whole day playing craps with Bill.
I know. And finally, a donation from Tucker, karma donation for my first Vegas trip, coming up December 12th through the 15th. Well, good luck to you, Tucker. Yeah. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listing showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings and our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review of the show. We love getting your feedback. Mike, it looks like you have something to say.
I don't know if I do, actually.
All right.
This is a big time of the year for us, right? I mean, you got all the Christmas festivities. Mm-hmm. You don't have work.
Oh, my gosh. I had so much vacation time stored up. They said, Mark, you've got to go on vacation. So, I have almost the whole month of December off.
That's nice. So, I assume you'll be hitting the casino a little more.
Yeah, probably every day. Yeah, I'll probably get up there every day. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
So, we got that going on, and then we got college football, bowl games, and you advised me that the San Diego State Aztecs will be playing in the, go ahead, say it, because I can't get that out.
Yeah, they're playing in the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl.
Yeah, made up. That's a made up
that's
name.
Made up. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a real thing. Somebody just said, how many words can we put in there?
Right.
Nonsensical words and pretend it's a bowl game. Yep.
And I like that it's SDSU against UTSA.
SDSU. Although, it's only really locals who say SDSU. Everybody else says San Diego State. But okay.
All abbreviations.
Okay, yeah.
And then we've got also, NFL winding down. We've got hockey, basketball.
Yes,
you are a very busy man.
You said that last time, Dr. Mike. We need some new content from you at these ends of the shows.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. We haven't had enough gambling stories.
No, we really haven't. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll have some.
Bring some.
I'll bring some back. I'll whisper them to you, and then you can pretend like they happened to you on our next episode.
Oh boy, that's hitting below the belt.
I had a hard 6.
That's hitting below the belt.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Okay, let's thin this herd. Untucked shirt, no thank you. Born in San Diego, yikes. An adult named Todd? So this is what online dating is like?